What is good, y'all? Mikey T, the movie star. I'm back with some information that I'm going to react to. It's kind of wild to me that the G Unit guys, Tony Yayo, they seem to get so upset about 50 Cent comparing him to expired milk. But I mean, when somebody says something even worse than that, they don't even acknowledge it. When 50 Cent says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, them guys have been standing by the well for years and will still die of thirst. So somebody says you're like expired milk and you get all upset, but somebody says you would die of thirst standing by a well and we get nothing. So that's what I'm going over today, you guys. 50 Cent put the blame of G Unit on G Unit, the group that 50 Cent went out of his way to make sure worked. 50 Cent went out of his way to make sure Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo got famous. 50 went out of his way to use the Young Buck Bloodhound record that he heard when he was scouting a verse from Juvenile on a tour bus. I'm saying 50 Cent went out of his way for these guys. 50 Cent gave them a platform to thrive on. If you agree with me, hit that like button. If you don't agree with me, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know, Mikey T, you're bugging. But today we're going over some pretty dope information. Everybody out there watching, follow me on social media if you haven't already. It's Mikey T _ the movie star. You are now tapped in with the most informative, the most live, the best interviewer, blogger out there. Watching some of y'all interviews, they be dry. A lot of y'all interviews, get your skill up. Watch a couple more of my joints. I think I make it look a little bit too easy. But we're not doing an interview today. Today we're diving into some old information, some story time episodes with Mikey T. So 50 Cent said, after years of begging, controlling, and threatening them to start doing different, I had to accept that Banks and Yayo weren't not capable of doing much more than what they were used to. 50 Cent going hard on them right off the bat. After years of begging, controlling, and threatening. Those three words don't go together well. So you're begging somebody to do something, you're controlling them, and you're threatening them. Those three words do not go together well. It doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't even make sense, to be honest. But 50 said Banks and Yayo were not capable of doing much more than what they were used to. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Them guys have been standing by the well for years and will still die of thirst. I could not believe it when I heard that. I could not believe it when I heard 50 Cent say that. The old lead a horse to water routine. But then he added something else. I never heard somebody say to somebody, you die of thirst standing by a well. Man, 50, you go hard on the guys you grew up with. I would never say that to anybody that I grew up with. How about lending them a helping hand? Oh, Mikey T, 50 did lend a helping hand to Banks. He did lend a helping hand to Tony Yayo. You lent Lloyd Banks some help by what? Giving him cookie cutter singles that look just like the singles for Hunger for More? Are you kidding me right now? Hands Up? Hands Up was like a hollow version of On Fire. Cake? Cake was like a minute and 59 seconds. Cake was no warrior. And then what did we have? Help? With a pre-fame Carrie Hilson? You did a lot to help Lloyd Banks. The way you made him film that video, too, was trash. Putting Lloyd Banks in a suit in his second album? Wow, that really must have threw a lot of his gangster I'm So Fly fan base off, but I'm just keeping it real here, you guys. You want to talk about making them capable? I guess you were capable of renting Lloyd Banks a warehouse to shoot a lame-ass music video. I mean, I'm going to put some blame on people, but I'm also going to put blame on others where I see fit. I'm not just going to come on here agreeing with everything. It's not all lollipops and rainbows. This is the real world when you tap in with Mikey T, the movie star, and I'm going to tell you the real shit. So, 50 said it was extremely disappointing, but I had to accept that many of their dominant character traits, recklessness, resentment, character traits, the lack of discipline, he said as well. He said he knew that it was going to impede their progress. It was just who they were. It might not sound like it, but I worked very hard to ensure their success. I agree. 50, you did work hard. You worked hard by making them work hard. Lloyd Banks at times had performed over 200 times in a single year. That's great money. But we hear about other sports where athletes are traveling nearly 300 plus days a year. You know how strenuous that is? On yourself? On your family? You're taking the major breadwinner away from his family. How do you think the family feels about that? There's a lot of families in the United States that go through that. A lot of people out there that are making money on the road, so it's not really uncommon. But all this talk about recklessness, when did Lloyd Banks ever get arrested? When did Tony Yayo get arrested? Tony Yayo got arrested in 2002 for that whole incident where he took the gun charges when y'all got pulled over. Tony Yayo also was involved with the thing with Jimmy Henchman's kid. And then there was another situation at the Touch It remix video shoot with Busta Rhymes, which did not result in an arrest. So their recklessness did not really result in too many arrests. I didn't hear too many things. The one video I saw, Yayo was actually yelling at security in front of a nightclub. Resentment. You could say resentment. Okay, yep. Resentment for sure. Tony Yayo is very jovial. He's very happy about everything that 50's done for him, though. I don't see resentment from Tony Yayo. You could say you do from Lloyd Banks, but Lloyd Banks doesn't even speak enough to say that all too much. Young Buck is just angry at the world. He's on some Buck the World type stuff right now. So anyways, 50 said, I would have loved for Yayo to become the next 50 Cent. You would have loved for Tony. I get that. I get that you would have loved for Tony Yayo to become the next 50 Cent. But 50, Lloyd Banks already became the next 50 Cent when you dropped Hunger for More and the album sold 440,000 units in a single week. You had your follow-up artist. What did you do? You made Lloyd Banks wait 2.5 years nearly to drop another album. So I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Fifth. Why would you have wanted Tony Yayo to be the next 50 Cent when you already had the next 50 Cent with Lloyd Banks? The Game came out, sold 500,000 units. What are you talking about the next 50 Cent? You had it with those two artists. I understand you want Yayo to make mad money too. I would have loved for Yayo to become the next 50 Cent. If Yayo had been able to capitalize on his opportunities. Shot! That was a shot right there. If Yayo had been able to capitalize on his opportunities. Are you kidding me right now? If Yayo's album wasn't pushed back from June 27th to August, whatever, he could have capitalized off the success of So Seductive Let's be real. Or does nobody want to be real? Or does nobody remember? Or were you locked up when this happened? Or did you not even have a voice in the culture when this happened? Take your pick. Because I was writing about it in magazines. I was living through it. If you don't remember it, please don't even respond to me. I'm on here talking about hip-hop history. You're on here talking about Gossip Magazine BS. So 50 said if he would have capitalized on his opportunities, maybe if Tony Yayo didn't get out of jail and release a song called Curious, why would a song... Dr. Dre told 50 Cent, I don't think 21 Questions worked on Get Rich or Die Trying. Dr. Dre was wrong. But 50 Cent was wrong about shooting a video for Curious on an album called Thoughts of a Predicate Felon when Yayo just got out of jail. Let's be real. Dre should have stepped in on this one. And for crying out loud, did Dr. Dre produce Live by the Gun or not? So much rumors being spun out there on the internet, especially back in the day. I would have loved it if Dr. Dre would have made contributions to the G-Unit projects. But everything just started getting so crazy to the point where Dre was like, I don't even want to be involved in this. I don't even want to be involved in this. So that covers that about Tony Yayo's opportunities. 50 says something I'm going to get back into here now about Banks. He said it would have opened, so Yayo's opportunities, if he would have been the next 50 Cent, 50 says, it would have opened up so many doors and empowered me to move even faster. If I could have transitioned to focusing on other opportunities earlier instead of having to be 50 Cent a lot longer than I ever intended. Now, I said it earlier, you add Banks. Banks was... His album was bigger than anybody would have thought, selling 400,000 plus units. The man literally sold 500,000 units worldwide. I've read numbers as high as 536,000. Why didn't you do all of what you said you were going to do for Yayo for Banks? Why didn't you use that situation to turn Banks into the next 50 Cent? Just because Yayo's album came out and sold 215,000 copies, you did it to yourself, as I explained. Yayo's album comes out in June. It probably would have sold 450,000 copies first week, 2005. Dropping an album in August just because they pushed it back because the massacre got pushed back to April or something, or March. The Game, 500,000. And they really did that to themselves with Tony Yayo's album? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But also, I can't believe 50 Cent saying that he would have had the opportunity to move out of being 50 Cent. You had Lloyd Banks. BANK $, bitch. You had Lloyd Banks right there to market as the next big thing in the music industry. But as much as I hate to say it, Meek Mill took the man's spot with Rick Ross. Rick Ross actually put his right-hand man on in that sense. I'm not talking about gunplay. He tried. But yeah, so that's the episode I wanted to talk about today, man. 50 Cent basically putting the blame on G-Unit. Putting it on their recklessness, their resentment. I kind of debunked that a little bit. I don't think that's so much what it was. 50 Cent saying that he was begging them to do ththings. You were begging them to do things? I guess 50 did put Young Buck on blast for not going on tour with him. He called Buck, I'm sure. He released some of the conversation too. Buck, come on tour with us. And Buck didn't go on tour. Buck got kicked off of Terminate on Sight. 5 features instead of 10. I'm sure it messed with his pockets to a certain extent. But guys, that's the story for today, man. Hit the comment section. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything else in relation to this. Drop a question. You know what I mean? Drop a comment to expound on another topic as well. But follow me on social media. The link is right in the description. It's Mikey T _ the movie star on Instagram. Also, make sure you subscribe here on this channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my live videos, man. I'm the livest YouTuber with the best information out. I'm going to talk to y'all in the next episode. See y'all.